Happy Juneteenth, aka the biggest Black family reunion we should have never told nobody about. Like they didn't tell us about that one thing. Hey y'all, welcome to the Unapologetic Black Woman's Guide to Everything. I'm your host, Kisha Solomon. Join me as I discuss ideas and share stories for Black women about work, relationships, culture, spirit, and self-identity that are unapologetically Black and always empowering and informative. There was one thing I wish Black people would have kept to ourselves. It's Juneteenth. Like, really, we never should have let this one out of the bag. I don't even know how it got here, but we held it. It's just amazing. We held it for so long. It was ours for so long. And now it's out here being incorporated and capitalized. And it just really feels like something that should have been kept with the in group. But now we're having awkward conversations about it in corporate America. It's like a couple of holidays every year that I have my contrary opinion on, and Juneteenth is definitely one of them. And the reason why is just because it's really weird. It's literally celebrating not the Emancipation Proclamation, which quite honestly could be a thing that we all could celebrate. It's celebrating the fact that some Black people in Texas didn't get the news until damn near 2 years later, which literally means that for 2 years, white folks in Texas were out here breaking the law, illegally holding these people captive and not giving them the news. And I just don't feel comfortable celebrating that in corporate America. Too surreal. It's giving Jordan Peele racial horror story. It's giving Get Out. Quite honestly, several of the Black people here probably don't know what it's about. I definitely know none of the white people here know what it's about. And the fact that if we all know what it's about and we're sitting here celebrating it together in this room of mixed people, it's just a weird thing to be celebrating with Chad from accounting. So that's happening now. But if there's something I can get down with, it is what I'm now calling Prideteenth, because it is Gay Pride Month and it is Juneteenth weekend. And in my Southwest Atlanta neighborhood, I got the chance to go to this event last night called Alt Black. And it was really, really good. It was an event that was all about celebrating Black alternative folks, like people who are into rock and goth and just all kinds of Black alternative realness, as well as queer, gay, drag queens, and burlesque performers. So it was an entire variety show with all of those people both in the audience and on the stage. And it was a really good time. And it was a celebration of Blackness that isn't your everyday Blackness. I felt it was really good to see all the other weirdos in the place, and the entertainment on the stage weren't half bad either. So I wanted to share a few of the clips from that event with you now.
Let's all take out our right index finger, your right index finger. On the count of three, we're gonna wag it down and say yes. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Yeah. That is the yes finger. You can use it for good and for evil. If you like what a bitch is doing, yes, bitch, work. If you don't like what a bitch is doing, get off the stage. But it's fine. It all looks like applause to us.
So here's my Juneteenth wish list for 2023. If the Juneteenth fairy could grant me these wishes, I would be happy about Juneteenth. So wish number one is I want Black people to stop apologizing for doing Black stuff or for being outwardly Black. And it's one specific thing that I think of when I think of this, and it is this habit I see a lot of people do when they either type something out or post something online, or maybe they're speaking in real life, and they sort of apologize or make a disclaimer if they speak in AAVE or Ebonics or Black speak or slang or whatever. Like, if they say ain't or if they type ain't, they'll then parenthetically put, like, I know it should be isn't or something like that. And I'm just like, we can tell you know good grammar and sentence structure. Why the need for this apology? Like, all of a sudden, we're like, "Oh my god, did you see that she said ain't? Oh my god, do you think she's even educated? Do you think that degree is real?" It's like, why? And to me, it's either this sort of Black respectability-ness that's like, I wanna distance myself from. I'm not one of those ignorant Negroes, but I still keep saying hood. It's that, which I don't love it. I get it, but I don't love it. Or it's actual shame. Like, I might be from Nutbush and I feel like I shouldn't still be speaking like I'm from Nutbush or something like that. Yeah, so that's my first Juneteenth wish. Because one thing I didn't see, you know how Nigerian people will switch into patois in the middle of a sentence and go back? I don't ever see them parenthetically apologizing for that shit. I see them being super duper proud. Like, that's a Niger thing that is so Niger that everybody wishes they could do it, but only Niger people really could. It's one of those things where why would you ever have to put a disclaimer around it when everybody knows what's happening and most people already understand it, even if they're not Niger? So yeah, I want us to get to those levels. But there are other things too. It's not just the language. It's like, oh, I didn't lay my edges down. Oh, well, laying your edges down, that's a very Black thing. It is, but it's another Black thing that's rooted in, like, I'm trying to pretend like I'm not as Black as I really am. The reason people laying their edges down, especially all these curly Q designs, which is cute. Come on now. It's cute, even though it's excessive and a little aggressive sometimes, these little forehead bangs, long ass baby hairs. But the only reason you're doing that is because you're trying to convince somebody that you got Indian in your family. And so that brings me to my second Juneteenth wish. I want Black people to stop saying they got Indian in their family if they cannot name a tribe. Like, any tribe, honey, Tribe Called Quest, anybody. You can say that y'all from back on the day on the Boulevard of Linden. I don't care. Name a tribe. Be more Pacific. Because after all this time, if you haven't researched enough to name a tribe, just keep it to yourself. Don't tell nobody else. Yeah, so that's my second Juneteenth wish. It's like somebody coming up to you and them being like, "Yeah, I'm from Africa." What? You can't be from Africa. You gotta be more Pacific than that. You gotta be from a country, you know? Parenthetically, I know how to say specific. Wish number 3. Wish number 3, they're all sort of related in a way. I think Black people would be able to express a lot more solidarity with the other people of color in the world if we learn some people of color languages. Like, we need to learn a little Spanish. We need to learn maybe what else they speaking out there. Learn French with the goal of now I can probably speak to somebody else brown that's from another place. And in that way, I'm increasing or I'm extending the solidarity amongst people of color. Because that's the challenge. English is such a passport, but not everybody in the world gets a chance to learn and speak English at a high level. And Americans are terrible with if you can't communicate English in the way they've always heard it, they can't have a conversation with you. But if we made at least a little attempt to learn a little more of the other major languages, because most of the brown places were colonized by one of 3 empires: British, Spanish, and then the French. So you've got the French, that'll get you Haiti, that'll get you a lot of West Africa. If you already got English, that means you got people in South Africa. You'll probably get some Kenyans and that. But then if you got Spanish, that means you got all your Central and South American cousins. You got Equatorial Guinea. So that's it. I really wish Black people would learn another language with the intent of being able to communicate with more brown people around the world or around your block. And I think that's it. Those are my top 3 wishes for Juneteenth 2023.